Hi folks, today we're going to talk about an anchoring system for your Mac Daddy or your kicking butt decoy. Kicking butt and the Mac Daddy have been a great product for us this year. They've really taken off. There's been a lot of good response from people, but the biggest thing that people are asking us to do is find an efficient way to anchor the decoy. What we use in our style of hunting is a cinder block. Okay, and all of this is covered in the kicking butt and the Mac Daddy videos, which are on the website. But the biggest thing, what we use is a cinder block, and for a lot of guys it just doesn't work. They're walk-in hunts, they have to walk a long ways, they can't pack a lot of gear, they're definitely not going to pack a cinder block. And so some guys that we've been working with, some of our customers, we've been asking on the internet people what they think, what we should use. One thing that's pretty popular is a simple corkscrew stake that people use to tie their dog out with. But that's only good if the water's less than arm length. You don't want to stick your arm down into cold water in the wintertime. So the best thing that we've found so far is this landscape anchor. And what it is basically a piece of airline cable attached to this little metal plate. It comes in 3 different sizes. You got a small, a medium, and a large. And that all varies on the size of the plate as to how much weight it'll pull. And so what we found is these different sizes work great in different soil types. Of course, your more light soil, your more muck, stuff like that, in a marsh or something, you're going to use your bigger plate, medium plate, and then a small plate like we're using out today, which is what we're going to use to show you for a little bit harder soils, and you're more, you know, this is the one that you're going to use more often than not for hunting in a wetland type area. So basically how you use these is you take a basic 3/8 inch or 1/2 inch rod, whichever is best for you. We're using a 3/8. It's a little more manageable. If you want to use a 1/2 inch, go right ahead. It won't bend as easy if you use a 1/2 inch. And what we've done is we've taken this rod in the shop and we took a grinder, and you've got to grind it to a taper on the point. Okay? As you can see, this was squared off. We took a grinder and rounded it off. If you don't have a grinder, stick it out your truck window and let it drag along the asphalt road, and it'll sharpen it down, you know, whatever. What you're going to do is, mosquitoes are eating me up out here. You're going to stick that point right in this loop part on the end. We'll get rid of these other 2 right now. Okay, you can see there's a hole in the end of it, and that's what your taper goes into. And now, keeping tension on it, you're going to have a string coming off of this. You simply take it down into the mud, and you push it in. And you kind of got to give it some oomph. What you want to do is, you want to push it in half the length of your cord, so it'll get a good bite. Once you got a bite, you pull up on it. Now I feel it caught. Now what it did, I'm going to show you on this one. We drove it in with the point, right? Straight down. Alright, so it passed the surface of the mud, and when I pulled back on it and pulled the stake out, you saw what it just did right there. That little flap right there causes it to bite and pulls it parallel with the ground. Now it's going to hold in the ground and not come out unless you pull it out. And so that's where we are now. And now you simply use that loop right there as you're anchoring for your Mac Daddy. You clip a carabiner to this, run your line through your carabiner as shown in the Mac Daddy and kicking butt video, and your decoy's anchored. Now to pull it up, I'm going to get my cord and run it through there so y'all can see. Your cord's going to be running through this loop right here. And so you simply take the line, pretend this is the line that's running to your decoy, so your decoy's floating in the water. This is the line running back to your blind. Grab both those lines and pull up on it and pull it out. Alright folks, now we're going to show you actually how to rig your decoy up with this system. So what I've got here is basically everything that comes with the decoy, excluding this pole. So everything else you see here comes with the decoy. The decoy, the rubber feet, the ballast weight, the length of 400-pound mono, and the anchor. So what you do is, your length of mono's got a loop on one end and a clip on one end. You take the end with the loop and you run it through the loop on this, as such. Okay? Now we're going to take this clip here, open your snap swivel, run it through the loop on the end of his nose. Alright, again, all of this is showed, all the decoy rigging methods are shown on the kicking butt video. So now I take my loop like this and my 3/8 inch pole, which is not provided with the decoy. As we can see, we got a hole right here. Run your rod onto that hole. Okay, get your string. And as you can see there, it fell off. I wasn't keeping tension on it. You gotta keep tension on it until you get it down in the mud. Alright, so I've got tension on it now. I'm gonna go ahead and set my decoy in the water with me as though I was out there in the marsh. I'm gonna take this down. Okay, now I'm on the bottom. I'm gonna push. And now I'm keeping in mind my cord off that anchor was about that long, right? About a foot. And so I've got to push it in at least 6 inches. I'm gonna go a little bit more. And so you just use your body weight. Okay. And so now I'm gonna pull my stake out. And now I'm gonna pull up on these both cords. All right, so I've got to anchor the anchor first. I got to get it sideways in the mud. All right, I'm pulling up and see it's caught there. All right. And so now I take my end with my loop, which I would be running back to my blind or wherever I'm hunting from. And it works like a champ, folks. So far, it's the easiest way we found to anchor these things. And it works great, as you can see. All right. And so now to retrieve it. And like I said, these are not made to be retrieved, but we're retrieving them anyways, because that's the way we are. We don't like spending a bunch of money. And we're selling these anchors on the website. So what I'm gonna do is you grab both ends of the cord again, and you get up over it, and you kind of got to be a man about it. But if you only drive it in with your body weight, then technically you should be able to pull it out with your body weight, hadn't you? I think so. So we got it out, didn't have to pull it real hard, but it still was plenty of weight to anchor the decoy with. And now you simply take it apart. We like to just leave the string on our decoy. You know, it's a lot easier to work with it that way. And now we're back to square one, folks.